Yes, people, this is a reaction slash player ratings. I'm not going to make two videos on it because I've got some tactical stuff I need to do this week and I've got a lot of work, so I'm just going to do it in one. Yeah, that was fairly shambolic, I think, from Leeds United, to be honest with you. The same problems we see in a lot of games. Obviously, when we win, it's great. We do good things well. But the other side to Leeds United is that side that we saw today, and we've seen it last year at times, and we've seen it this year at times. I've not wavered from that. It's the same problems every week, and I'll go through them. Not every week, sorry. It's the same problems that's creep in every now and again, and we see it. It's less of a problem later on in the season than it was at the start and last year, but it's still there, and I'll talk about that. But yeah, I thought the keeper. I mean, what? He didn't have much to do, which is the most frustrating part of this. I don't think he could come out with a penalty. It's a good penalty from Todd Cantwell, who was like a real good number 10 for them. Dolan was decent, but yeah, I give him a 5, whatever. Centre backs, I don't think they were terrible. Like, I don't. Strauch's at part at fault for the first goal. His defending is not good. He commits too much one way and he gets turned and spun. It's not good enough. I thought Rodon was all right. I thought he had an all right game. I'll be honest with you. I thought he tried. He tried to bring into I can't say the word. He tried to bring intensity to the game. He tried to drive with it. He tried to create stuff. He got to the point at times where Leeds United, we do this thing when we lack of ideas, where we just put in crosses from really deep, and Rodon did a few, and then Dan James is doing it on his weak foot. Bogle's doing it on his weak foot. What? How's that? What's going on here? How is that the decision? I don't understand. But yeah, I thought he was fine. To be honest, I thought he was all right. But the problem is, you're going to see now the scores diminish. And I'll be honest, I'll tell you right now, that final third infuriated me. You guys know, look, wing is my thing. That's what I've done a lot of the last 3 years at uni, focusing heavily on his wing play. Was a winger all my life. I really want to get proper into wingers. That's something I'm really interested in, like just about the wingers mindset. So I'm going to be harsh on him. But yeah, the midfielders, the fullbacks, it was Firpo. It says Byram. I apologise. I've not changed it. It is Firpo, obviously. It's poor. I mean, look, he's obviously he's fit in terms of he's been training, but he's not match sharp. He was a little off it because you can't replicate a game in training. You simply cannot. The intensity is different. The opposition is different. It's not your mate, regardless of if they act or not. It's not your friend, is it? And he looked off it. He looked slow. His reaction wasn't good. His crossing, another feature of our game that I thought was terrible today, was our crossing. So many crosses into the box, didn't find a Leeds player. Now, there's two sides to that. There's the crossing side, and then there's the people in the box. The people in the box are static a lot of the time. They make their runs too early. I keep saying this. Timing of the cross, timing of the run needs to be there. Our players make their run too early, so they're stood in the box, flat-footed. It happens so many times. But yeah, just clarify. This is Firpo, not Byram. I forgot to change the picture and the name. But his crosses weren't good, but he's just come back. I'm not going to criticise him too much. He's not sharp yet. Match sharp. You've got to get to that intensity. But Bogle, similar things. But it's decision making, and that's another word. Problem with this team is decision making. I watched Sunderland and Sheffield United yesterday. Neither of them were great. Sheffield United had 2 chances in that game. One was a brilliant save from Patterson, and the other went in, and they won the game. That is it. They didn't do anything amazing, anything particularly good. They didn't move the ball quick. They didn't destroy them. Sunderland, apologies. Sunderland were probably the better team, right? Yesterday. They moved the ball better, sharper, quicker. Sheffield United took their chances. Again, a thing we don't do. We did it the last 2 games. We're so inconsistent with it. We've been inconsistent with it all last season. We're inconsistent with it this season. We had 2 games where we've scored 7 goals. And this game, we could have played 300 minutes and we would not have scored an onside goal. We wouldn't have done it. I just had that feeling. The decision making was poor in every way, and the fullback's decision making was poor in the final third. The midfielders, or I mean, it's a tough game. They had an overload all game against them. It was 3v2 in there. I don't think we changed the situation. We didn't change the game to help them, and that is on the manager. You know, that's on the manager. That's on the coaching staff, the people, the analysts. That's everyone. That'd be my job. You know, as an analyst, you're above everything. You're watching the game. You can do replays. You're watching the game back. You're giving the information. They've got an overload. They're going through the midfield. Our midfield is lost. Every time they attack, they're going through the midfield. They're overloading. You do nothing to change it. You failed as a team. You failed as a coaching staff. Obviously, you know who the final decision is with. But again, we don't know, is that information been thingied to him? Should have done. It's very obvious. Did we decide to change it? That's the problem. The problem was there, and we didn't solve it. There was an overload all game in midfield, and it killed us. It killed them too. I feel harsh for these two giving that rain, because they were just battered every time they got the ball. They had two on them, out of possession, runners off them, no one following, no one tracking, overloads. What you meant to do? There's two of you in midfield, and sometimes there's three of them. What you meant to do? Four of them at times. What you meant to do? You can't do much. It's an overload. That's a failure in the staff to not recognise or do anything about that. And I could bring up 15 clips of that situation that I'm talking about, where they were overloaded in midfield. So they weren't great. Tanaka gives the penalty away. It's naive. It's a silly challenge. Again, this is about that them little cogs in your brain when you're not that type of player, not used to being in that position. Sometimes you make those rash decisions. Rothwell went missing a little bit again, though. Talk about us. How they have an overload. What do you expect? It's tough. But yeah, they were poor. But they weren't helped by the way we played at all in the slightest. And also in front of them, the front three movement was static a lot of the time again, which again, another thing we've seen this season, naivety in the final third with this team. And we're going to get into it now. We're going to get into the final third. Like I said, let me be real as well. I could have put this lower. But I just didn't. I don't know why, because I actually thought they got in some decent areas at times. It faded so quickly. Now, who do we start with here? You start with James. I mean, it was one of them games again. If you're playing Dan James, he's that type of player. He's not a creative player. He's a player who's good on the last man in the end way, 1v1, in behind. You've got to feed him the ball and he will produce. How many times did we feed him the ball? I don't like the inverted. I don't like James on the left. I think it nullifies his play massively. It nullifies the threat he's been. Look at every good thing he's done this season. He's from that right side. Why they change, I don't get it. I think that's an overrated thing, if I'm being honest. Do you know where wingers switch and that it's to confuse the opposition? It doesn't. It doesn't. It'll take you 10 seconds to know that Nonto's right-footed. It's not going to... It doesn't, trust me. I think it's overrated. Switching wingers, it's overrated. I used to do it in I teams. It didn't really do much. It's an overrated tactic. I don't get it. I never understood it ever in football. I don't get it. But didn't work anyway. Nonto was again 1v1, getting bettered by his fullback. Off the ball movement, again, Nonto was decent in the first 15-20 minutes, finding spaces. At times we didn't feed him. But it's that decision making, isn't it? He has a huge chance on another 1v1 to score. He just overthinks 1v1s. He tries to complicate the finish. The keeper comes out, he tries to hit it across him high. He just needs to slot it his near side, I think, or even chip him. Either or, hit it through his legs. His legs were wide open. I just think he tries to complicate the finish. He hesitates at times in front of goal. There's not that instinctive confidence there at the moment. And there was other times as well, final ball wasn't good enough. That last decision isn't great. 1v1s, just not taking his man on enough, slowing down. I don't get it. I need to see him do a bit more, moving in and out. It's what I think annoys me about wingers. Say annoys me about wingers. I was exactly the same. This is where I got this from my own. Why didn't I run at him? You look at the game. Why didn't I run at him? I'm better than him. Why didn't I do that? It's a mentality thing in wingers. Best ones in the world are the ones that just do it. Just run at you anyway. You know? They both weren't good enough. They were both bad in this game. On the ball in terms of decision making. Again, how many times did we just cross it, and the crosses were not good. It's just simple. If you're playing for crosses, just they've got to be good. If they're not, it's pointless, and they're just going to consistently make you go wide and allow you to cross it because they're just going to have an overload in the box, and you've got one or two guys static in the box. Got to make those decisive movements in the box, and we don't do it. Don't do it. I need much more from my wingers. The wingers who were, by the way, unplayable the other day. You can't go from unplayable to terrible. That's inconsistent. You can't do that. Everyone has bad games. I get it, obviously. But this is the point of analysing the game, right? It's to understand why you had a bad game and how we can change that. And I am going to do 1 or 2 tactical breakdowns this week. That's going to be the focus on the channel. But yeah, I need more from my wide forwards. Not good enough. And then the front two were just as bad, if not worse. I give them a 3. Yeah, they should probably get the same as the other guys. I don't think they were any worse or any better. Heroic didn't get in the game, but again, you've got to feed the man. He's not going to be a guy who drops deep and runs past 3 people. It's not him. It's not his game. Everybody in the world knows that. He knows that. The coaching staff know that. The players know that. You have to feed him in the box. Every single cross to him, every single one was bad. You're not giving him an opportunity to finish. You got Joe Perreault, gave an opportunity to finish, or don't play him. The balls have to be better. Feed him and he will score. You didn't feed him. It's also bad. I can't stress how many times that final third decision was bad. But yeah, it didn't impact the game at all in the slightest. Brendan Aronson, look, I'm going to do a video on him. Just to clarify as well, that video is, I've already got the clips from that there from the last 2 games. He was very poor in this one. This for me, this is the performance that everyone acts like he's like every week. This is it. Whereas this was worse than every week. This is what people pretend he's like. But he was like that today. He was bad. He was bullied today. Probably the first time this season where I think he was actually bullied in the game. But again, so was Tanaka, so was Rothwell, so were our wingers. Everyone was bullied by a big, strong, physical side who wanted this game a lot. They fought for every 50-50, every movement, every space that was vacant, and they made sure that their guy was there before ours. They were just all around better than us. It was a massive failure in the team, especially after the game against Luton. Look, and let me clarify this. I'm analysing the game. I'm not making this a... We should have won it in terms of chances. But that's... Yeah, of course we should have. We always do. Perreault had a huge chance to score. I don't know what he tries. He tries to flick it over. Why don't we just hit a ball? Hit it. We don't hit it. Everything tries to be so fancy at times. Just hit the thing. Perreault's goal against Luton, he just hit it at the keeper. Hard. And it went in. Dan James's goals this season, like, so many. Just hit it. We don't hit it. We try and curl it and just hit the ball at the keeper. Hit the ball in the net. You know what I mean? Nonta was well trying to calm finish. It's the final third decisions. Like I said, Sheffield United against Sunderland, man. They had 2 chances. One was saved. It was a good save as well. And the second was tucked away. That is all it took. But yeah, Aronson was vacant. He weren't there. He didn't impact the game. His decision making was bad. But again, the movement was terrible in front of him. It wasn't decisive. It was hesitant. It was lethargic. Yeah, poor, wasn't it? Everyone was poor. Rodon was our best player. I'm going to do some tactical breakdowns to justify what I think we could do better, justify these ratings and understand how we can do better. It's all right sitting here going, this was bad, but I need to justify it. I want to show why I think we could do better, what we need to work on, and we need to get rid of these problems. I keep saying this every week, but well, I see this every week. I said it after the window. We need a physical 10. We really lack a physical profile. We've got physical in terms of runners, in terms of run a lot, but we don't have a big, strong presence. We lost our big, strong presence. We need an option. We need a different option in that central role, attacking role. It's the only place on the pitch we don't have an option. And I'm not talking about a little diminutive fast play. We've got them in abundance. We don't need that. We need a big, physical, strong, quick player in there who can crash the box. That's what we need. It's crying out in this team. When we get it up there, we can hold it. How many times do we have to play quick because we can't hold it. We can't hold it in attack. We have to hold it and go back. We need someone who can hold it, let everyone come into play, or just drive. Proper drive, win fouls in there, attack the opposition, like the guy we lost, Jorginho. We need a guy with a similar profile in terms of just a strong physical player. We're crying out for it. This team is crying out for it. Someone with a box presence who can get in the box, late runs into the box and get a header in, be physical in there, win your penalties, win your free kicks around the box. We're crying out for it, and we've not got it. I'm sorry, but I say this every week. I'm going to say it even when we win as well. Come back when we win, I'll say the same thing. The profile that's missing in this team, and that is it for me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I imagine what you think. It was terrible. I know everyone's going to dig out one individual. I know who that is. I'm going to do a video on him this week, but everyone was bad. I don't take accountability for one person. It's a team performance. No one was great in this game, and improvements have to be made. But it is just one game. We've had a great run, but we showed our naive side again today. Again, in the last 9 minutes, that extra time, where was the real desire and passion to win that? We also we give up in our brains. I don't know. It's a weird thing that we need to figure out, to be honest with you, because if we don't figure out, we're not going to get top 2. That's the difference. There's games where we're brilliant at it, and there's games where we're not. It's so inconsistent. But yeah, it's just one game. I'm sure we'll be back, but we need to go on a run now. Some big games coming up. We've got Derby, we've got Middlesbrough, Oxford in there. That's 9 points there. It's got to be 9 points. Got to bounce back from this and just really come together as a team and just learn, man. We need to learn more. But anyway, I'm just rambling. I could go on. See you guys in a bit. Please smash one of them because we're all sad and it'll make me feel better. But, I'll see you guys in a bit. Everyone enjoy your weekend. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.